Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1340 has been named the Leanne Act in honor of Leanne Hensley. Seeks to add the violation of a no contact order to our current domestic violence protections, which a violation of this order would be a Class A misdemeanor.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. Members, you've heard the explanation of the bill as amended, and we do have someone on our list here to testify today. So without objection, I would like for us to go out of session. Seeing none, we are out of session. And on our list, we have Mr. Danny Hensley. Mr. Hensley, if you're here with us today, if you could please come up to the witness desk. Thank you, sir. And please have a seat, make yourself comfortable. At the base of your microphone, members, I want to make sure we give our full attention to our witness. Members. Sir, at the base of your microphone, there'll be a button that looks like a mouth talking, and if you press it, a red light will be illuminated, and that's how you'll know the microphone is on.
Is it on?
Yes, sir, it's on. If you could please state your name for the record.
My name is Danny Hensley.
Thank you, sir. And now, please share with the committee whatever you'd like.
Well, I wanted to come and share our story about our daughter, Leanne. This is Leanne. She was 22 years old when this picture was taken. I'm not going to go into great details because of the time restraints. But Leanne, to make a long story short, she was dating a boy that we cared nothing about and didn't know the extent of the damage that she was going through until it was too late. May the 7th, this coming 17 years ago, we received a phone call after Leanne had left our home to go to work from a detective in Mount Pleasant, and he said, "Mr. Hensley, your daughter has been shot and life flighted to Vanderbilt." I didn't believe it, and I hung up, and he called right back. The sheriff sent a deputy to our home to drive Carolyn and I to Vanderbilt. My other two daughters were on their way, and our pastor at that time had got the news over TV. We made it to Vanderbilt, and they said, if your daughter makes it through surgery, she has a chance. They carried us up to this little room on the 5th floor, and Carolyn and myself and my pastor was praying. They came in, they said, "Mr. Hensley, your daughter has extensive heart damage, brain damage, and lung damage. If you want to see her alive, you got 5 minutes." We went back to her room, and our other two daughters, Hope and Stephanie, were back there. Carolyn and I and Hope and Stephanie and our pastor were on each side of Leanne's bed. Every time I'd lean down and wash the blood off her little fingers and her hands, I'd say, "I love you, baby. Please don't leave us." We stood there and we watched as a tear rolled down the left cheek of Leanne's face, and she took her last breath. We were absolutely devastated. The boy that murdered Leanne took his own life after he murdered her. But after 6 weeks of carrying all that hate around in my heart, I was able to call this boy's mother and tell her, "Miss So-and-so, me and Carolyn sincerely and honestly forgive your son for murdering our baby. But you're a grieving mother just like we're grieving parents. And we want you to know you're in our prayers daily and welcome in our home at any time." I had never taken domestic violence serious until it hit us, hit out. 17 years now, my pastor and chief of police sitting behind me is Brother Sam Livingston. He has been on the board of directors at the shelter with me. We've traveled the country talking about domestic violence, making people aware of it, trying to get the seriousness of it out. I've gone to numerous churches and different clubs to try and let people know how serious domestic violence is and raise money for the shelter. Tennessee ranks number 5 in the nation this year for women murdered through domestic violence, and Columbia, Tennessee is number 1. All I'm asking for is to finally get something passed that might help curb domestic violence. The 5 small counties that Lawrenceburg supports in the shelter, last year, the first 8 months, in those 5 counties, they had 826 cases of domestic violence. That's 5.5 per day. Sirs, all I want y'all to know is that it is real. Innocent ladies are dying every day of the week or being beaten. because of domestic violence. The laws as they stand right now are pretty weak. But I have been to churches all over the country. Last Sunday made 154 different churches in 52 months since my precious wife died, that I've got to go share my story. But I want y'all to give it some very serious consideration. It is serious. When we got innocent girls that are dying because the courts won't do anything to them. I don't know how it is anywhere else, but I know in our court system sometimes, the first 3 times they're charged with assault or domestic violence. They go to court, they have the option of slapping them on the wrist and fining them $50 and giving them 12 hours in jail. That's no deterrent whatsoever.